Welcome to the Planet 63 Virtual Business Matchmaking Show, the next evolution of discovering Philippine and U.S.-made products and services. This is the show that helps create global sales opportunities and bring Philippine and U.S.-made products and services go from local to global. Thank you for watching the show, and now please welcome the host of Planet 63 from local to global, Ferdinand B. Soriano. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Planet 63's From Local to Global, the Experts Edition. Now, why do we call it the Experts Edition? Well, on our regular show, it's all about the guest presenters. They talk about their products and are looking for tips and connections regarding their products with potential buyers, wholesalers, distributors, and, of course, online retailers. Now, a majority of the time, those amazing feedbacks are being given by the panel of experts that are part of the show. Now, on this edition, we want to focus on getting our audience to know the caliber and the level of experience of the experts that we have on the show. Now, on this fourth episode of Planet 63's From Local to Global, the Experts Edition, we have someone in the legal profession. When we have exporters on the show, I think most of them want to know how to sell their products. Of course, you need to know all of that, but it's also equally important to also know how to legally sell your products in the U.S. market and possibly know how to legally set up your business in the U.S. market. Now, all that can be addressed by our guest today. Her main office is located in the United States, but also has a presence in the Philippines. She's a highly sought-after attorney here in the U.S. Many Philippine businesses have also reached out to her about the U.S. market. Now, before we introduce her, let me introduce my co-host on the Planet 63 From Local to Global show. He's the co-founder of GMB Franchise Developers, excuse me, and is the Philippine franchise guru. Please welcome Boots Bartolome.
Hey, Ferdinand. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone, and good evening here out there.
Hello.
How's everything? How's everything doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, Butch. You know how it is with everything going on in the world. Everything's kind of a little crazy here and there. But you know what? We're all managing. We're doing our best, just like what you guys are doing in the Philippines. Right, Butch?
Right. The planet has to go on wherever it goes. Okay.
Now, I know that you woke up pretty early for me, for us today, and I appreciate you being here. And it's important that we're all together working and trying to come up with this idea of promoting Philippine products. And now we get a chance to promote and also showcase the experts in our show, which we're very blessed to have. Now, let me go ahead and introduce them, okay, Boots?
Yeah, sure.
Now, her law firm, Deloso Penacho Law, PPC, is located in Southern California, USA. Her firm practices estate, life, and legacy, immigration, and business with a vast knowledge of international business, planning, and strategy. I would say she is amazingly professional, insightful, and strategic. She is what every legal person technically should be, okay? Now, what makes her different is her mindset. She has this amazing mindset in how she approaches her profession. Now, let's bring her out and let her tell her story. Now, please welcome our friend, attorney Yodel Deloso Penacho. Now I always have a problem in trying to bring our guests over, but I'm just so glad, Yodel, that you're here. Thank you for that little delay. So how are you, Yodel?
Wonderful. I'm so really excited to be here and with this two amazing persons next to me, or actually above me. And I would like to say good evening to here in California and magandang umaga, Pilipinas.
No, we're just glad that you're here. And then, we have this 45-minute show, and there's so much to know about you. And so what we do is we're going to get right to it, unless Butch wants to ask you something before we go on.
Well, Yodel looks like a very well-dressed for the Cinco de Mayo, actually. Well, it's already past Cinco de Mayo already there, right? So...
Well, that's why we have to rush this show, because I'm going to a party afterwards. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. You're going to do what dance do they use? What dance do they call that?
What is it, Yodel? Do you know? In San Diego, where you are, that's
mariachi.
Yeah, they have different Spanish, but my favorite is salsa.
Nice. Oh. Okay, so we can. That's another show altogether. We can talk about how the panel experts party. All right. Okay. With that being said, let's go before we take this into a different direction. All right. Now, my first question is to ask this question, Yodel. Very serious question. Now, what persuaded you to join the panel experts of Planet 63 from local to global? Why did you do that?
Number one is the vision and the value that's connected with the show. And I'm really amazed. The first time I spoke with you, of course, you talked about this, and from that time on, I tried to learn more about your show, and it's how I'm amazed with the mission and the vision that you have here. One is empowering people with their businesses, and how to bridge the gap between two countries to make sure that they can expand their reach and then market without much struggle, without much sweat, and helping them and giving them that helping hand. That's what amazes me, and that's kind of like in line with my value itself. I like empowering people, my clients, because only then, when I empower clients, that they can help themselves and provide the proper support so they can reach their maximum growth.
Well, that's
And I
important
love
thing.
that about the show.
I know that Butz was very happy to have a lot of interesting and very knowledgeable professionals in the show, right, Butz? In terms of the
Yeah,
credibility.
right. I think what really bonds us is actually that what Yodel said. The common advocacy of helping patch. We are like a bridge. We're bridging the gap between two countries, and enticing a lot of entrepreneurs to really be out there and exchange. And this is what actually Planet 63 is doing, and Yodel providing us the legal aspect. That is something, one of the cornerstones, I would say.
Well, it definitely is helping out. So she brings a lot of different perspectives, which is great. More importantly, to the Philippine manufacturers. All right, I'm a big fan of origin stories, so let's delve in a little bit about your background, Yodel. So again, I want to ask you. Every time I talk to you, I feel like I'm talking to somebody who's been doing it for such a long time, and you have. So let's go ahead and confirm, how long have you been in this profession, Yodel?
Well, I got my license in the Philippines. I started in the Philippines, educated there, born and bred in the province of Zambales. I started my practice in the Philippines 2001 with Accra Law Offices. I was the only female associate that was hired at the time, and then here in the United States, when I immigrated, I got my license 2005, and I started practicing. Um, I started my practice with a small firm here in Del Mar, doing asylum cases, immigration asylum cases, and that started me with immigration. And as soon as I got there, I felt the disconnect with what I really truly want, how I envision the practice of law is, because I got into this profession. I think the very first, I remember this vividly, that I was 6 years old when I decided that I want to be a lawyer. So when I got here and started working with this firm, and seeing the disconnect with the clients, and the service and the value that I wanted to bring into my clients, and how the practice of law is, at least in my mind, how I want to practice law, which is to help people and empower them. It's not there. So later on, that really propelled me to start my own practice. And so it's 2013 when I started really my own office, really started as an international law, because I'm also licensed in the Philippines. That's kind of like, second nature to me to deal with international issues, comparative laws, and stuff like that. And um, of course, servicing servicing businesses and servicing individuals and families as well. So,
Well, your background is very varied, but it obviously sort of mirrors how what you've experienced in life and what you're seeing, and it almost seems like you're an advocate more than an attorney. But obviously, you're fighting the fight, so to speak, with your education and your knowledge, and doing it right and making things, changing things, right, Boots? I mean, that's how I'm getting out of what she just said to me.
Yeah, because I rarely meet people who are both practitioners on both sides of the world, and that takes passion. That takes passion. The passion becoming a profession. I would say that it's something that it's coming out of a person, because you can become a profession on one side, but you just take it as a job. But you're taking this as your personal thing of having that international law background. It's amazing, amazing.
Mhm. Just for the people that are tuning in, we're interviewing attorney Yodel Deloso Penacho. She's one of the panel experts in our show From Local to Global, Planet 63's From Local to Global show, which comes on every 2 weeks. The next show will be this coming Monday. So if all of you that are watching currently, make sure that you stay tuned for that. And we're on Facebook and also on YouTube. Now, I want to get deeper into what we were talking about. Now we know a little bit of background. So now my next question to you is that it's a little bit more leaning towards what you do for the show, the exporters. So I always I always told you that when you're talking, please imagine the exporter. What did they want from you, or what could you give them? So my question is, how can you be of help to exporters, and especially to the newcomer in the export industry for the U.S. market, Yodel?
well, I think I must start this, open the answer to my question by providing a little bit of context about what I do. Servicing businesses centers really about me, and doing wealth preservation and all this is centers around me being an immigrant as well, and as an entrepreneur. I feel that, coming from the Philippines myself, with a legal background, not only the legal background that I bring in here, but also my heritage and the experience of what I have endured and I've encountered here. And I feel that, and I know that. So not only the legal expertise, right? It's also providing with them with the right resource and how to prepare themselves and bring here. So coming here is not a matter of just stepping in, like putting your foot up and just like get in the United States. There's so many things that that people need to consider. The foundational system, and part with the most important there is the legal part, right? I know in the show that you have the logistic, that's really a big part of it as well. You have the marketing part, but to start coming in here, they have to have the right mindset, right? And not only the mindset, but the information about what they would need to encounter, what that will be encountering here. They would have to look into, and having the right legal standing, entity formation, what would be the financial aspect of that one, the tax consequences. Those are the things that they need to really be apprised of. They need to learn that at the beginning, So that's yeah.
That's a lot. That was a mouthful. Definitely, there was a lot of thought to be had, because, like I said in the beginning, a lot of people go into any market, but obviously because the show is focused on U.S. and the Philippines, so Philippine exporters coming into the U.S. I find that yes, they're always fixated, obviously, on making sure that their products are going to be sold, but sometimes they forget that it is equally important to understand how to be here and sell your business or sell your products compliantly or legally, or however you want to say that. But at the end of the day, I think that's what you do for a lot of the people there. There's more to it, I know, but that's probably something just to touch on and for them to realize and remind them of that, right, Boots?
Yeah. What struck me, what you said, Yodel, is that the mindset. You're not talking immediately of selling the product exporting or importing the product, but really what's the mindset of the entrepreneur? Because there are two different cultures, but selling it instantly, I don't think there's a shortcut to that. But as a lawyer, you are really doing them a big favor and saying, hey, you have to understand the culture of the US and the culture of the Philippines are two different worlds. I mean, we may speak the language of, but we don't have that kind of culture that some people may assume. So I think that's the right word. You said mindset, which is very rare in a lot of entrepreneurs. They just want to do instant. I mean, there are people, I want to export right away. Attorney Yodel, do the right way. Do it. Give me the forms. It's like a template. No, I don't think you do that. I mean, you have to go through the rigors of explaining step by step, right?
Yes. So that's really the value of what I provide, and that what set really me apart. It's I am not just a lawyer dictating to you like this and that and this is that, this is what you do. I would I do I start my process with counseling. So
Mhm.
that's really what counseling is all about, and checking in with the client, their what their priorities are, providing a quick audit and with their business and their that goes to the mindset. I mean, why are you coming here to the United States? What what would be your priorities? Are you coming in here just to expand because you want to bring your market here for what purpose, right? Is it for long term or for short term? Are you ready to connect with businesses here? Do you know? So and then I would ask them how far they know, right? So
Mhm.
that's counseling, and then providing with them with the right of course the legal resource,
Mhm.
and opening their mind into really what can they expect here, and provide them with some strategies to minimize their legal risk, because this is a new terrain, right?
Mhm.
This is not the Philippines, right? There's so much transparency here. There's so many things that you need to every level, governmental level here. This specific compliance that you need to really look into, and most definitely what I see from generally from what I see from clients right now is the understanding of not just the laws, but the understanding of the system here as a whole, right?
I think just as kind of because we've got a little bit of time, but I was going to add on to that because with me, I'm very practical. I understand from a perspective, and I'm sure Butts could probably agree on this too, is that when you're always concerned about, okay, am I going to make a sale? Because at the end of the day, if I don't make a sale, I can't make certain things happen, right? So to me, I always think that you have to juggle that in terms of having someone, whether you delegate somebody or whatever, to when you're starting a business, you really do need to be be concerned about that. But sometimes people put it in their mindset that if I find out all this, it could be negative or whatever. But see, what I like about your style is that you're not like that. You're just telling them what it is, but you're also very encouraging because we've talked before. So that's what I like about your style. There's attorneys who could just rattle off checklist. No, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's like, dude, I could have just done that and on the internet and figured out how to do it. Tell me that I can't do this and that. But you do actually provide solution and how you could do that, because at the end of the day, most of exporters are just focused on trying to make money too, obviously.
Right, right. So for me in my office is clients are empowered, they make the decisions, not me. What I do is to provide them with the specific guidelines and how to make the most cost effective, the most the perfect decision for them, because only they know, like. And also it's really thank you for that, Ferdinand. There's no shortcut, like
Hmm.
you really have to create that foundational system, your legal, insurance, and financial and tax system, and that's what really what I do, eh, to prepare yourself for growth, because you might skip that and go to A to Z, and then you might be reaping like billions of dollars, and all of a sudden, are you prepared? So one audit and one legal issue might crumble everything down into pieces.
Yeah, before I move on to the next question, Butch, do you have another question? I mean, want to make another comment or make a comment about what Yodel just said?
I think what really matters now is in the profession, you have to be personalized. You have to empower, because word gets around. I mean, the world is small. The world has no boundaries. But the thing is, people should not be afraid to approach a legal counsel, a lawyer, because when they say, "Oh my gosh," I mean, do you get that impression? You say, "Oh no, I have to approach a lawyer. Can we not do it through internet and get a template download and you know what this lawyer says in the Google, just follow it."
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So that's true. So I have a lot of like conversation about that with clients and some colleagues about like, who's your lawyer? Google is my lawyer, right? So
Attorney Google. I know Google can do a lot of things, but that's
Attorney
insane.
G.
Attorney G.
Attorney G.
just like what I say to others, I will not Google my symptoms and self-diagnose myself. That would be scary.
Well, people will definitely try, and I get it. I know why they do it, but sometimes whether that is advisable, maybe in the short term, I don't know. But the long term, yeah, definitely. Now, you've been in the show. You've done about 3 episodes now with us, right? Maybe you can tap into those segments, whether it was the Philippine exporter, or the U.S. exporter. So my next question is more like that. Let's be specific in terms of that. Your experience with the exporters or anybody wanting to do business here or in the Philippines. What do you find is the most common problem that are encountered by the exporters, and how can you help them legally do business in the U.S.? So I guess just what I'm saying is whether you tap into the knowledge of the past clients, or rather past guests, please address that specifically in terms of mistakes, in terms of how do you help them legally to do business in the U.S. also.
First, I would like to compliment the show on that one, because
Mhm.
hosts really, you really lasered on the issues. I mean, for me, it's just sitting there and like just really having my feedback. But you guys lasered on, what do these people or companies really need in terms of leveraging their potential, and also the opportunities to expand across the globe, and specifically here. And for me, it's just like, following it up only with that, what you're saying. But the common thing that I see, and I think the very first struggle, maybe people, businesses will not admit it or not, but what I've seen is like, how do we put our foot in that, it's in either country, right? For me here in the United States, and it's it starts always with your legal personality, right? Because that's always the disconnect, right? It's always the everybody's like excited. We want to move on to business. We want to move on to running my company. We want to move into sales and everything like that. But they're always missing the part where they need to provide a shell of protection, right? And also the legal personality for them to work in and around, how to, of course, operate their business and doing business. I think they really need more on the education on that part. Once they realize and accept that they need their legal foundational system in place, then they will be more bold and brave to expand their market here in the United States, because they know they can enter into contract, they can negotiate it better, they can get their loan better, they can get the line of credit, they can even coordinate with the government. They know they can be bravely, file their tax returns and stuff like that because they know. So that's the biggest struggle, and that's the hole that we need to fill in for them, and also,
Well,
so
that is what it is. That I feel like every time we do the show, I always feel like we need to do that. How do we bring in more resources? I have to give my respects to my co-host here, because that's one of the things that he does really well too, is educate a lot of his clients in the Philippines as well as here. So that's why every time you mention something about either collaboration or education or empowerment, that's just amazing to me, because all of us, and maybe I never wasn't conscious of it. I'm too consumed with trying to put everything together, so to speak. But that is what we're all just trying to do. We're just trying to educate everybody and empower them, just like what you're doing, right, Boots, in the Philippines, especially in the Philippines, I should say.
Yeah, it's really entrepreneur education 101.
Yeah.
and I need to, if you let me chime in that one, Sir Butch, it's I've read some of your articles as well, and your shows. I've seen it, and I like, it's really expansive and comprehensive. That's really what the businesses really need, to give them the confidence to to work in the market, to expand themselves. Yeah.
Well, that's why I think it's a good team. Boots gets them exposed to what we're all trying to do, and at the end, it's just like a relay race, and hopefully, we bring a lot of Philippine manufacturers that empowerment and the confidence, so that it's almost like a relay race. You hand them over to Boots gives it to me, and then I give it to the experts, and then eventually we're all here and we reach the goal as a team and trying to get to me, the baton is the Philippine exporter, right?
Exactly.
You're trying to pass them along and just say, okay, we won, and this is what we're trying to do. So, if people out there are listening to this right now, that's the visual. This is the Philippine manufacturers the baton. We're just trying to put it together so you get to a certain point in the race, if you want to call it a race. But anyway, thank you, Yodel, for that. Again, we are interviewing Attorney Yodel Deloso Penacho. She is one of the panel experts in the show from Planet 63's From Local to Global. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do what we call a product alert from one of the supporters of the show, which means it's either somebody who is just in love with helping the show out, or one of our past guests, and we're just continually promoting their product. And on this particular episode, where we continue to support a past guest presenter, her name is Mai Travado, and she is from Modela Filipina. Let's watch and look at her products again for the second time and see what you think. And we are back. Like for example, that you just saw is from what you just saw is a video and products of our last presenter on our last show. Her name is May Travado, and that was Modella Filipina. And believe it or not, because of our show, she was able to connect with at least, from what I know, two people that are interested in promoting her product. I don't know yet in what capacity in regards to a big scale or maybe a boutique, but for her, we were hoping that she would at least connect with someone who owned a small store here in the U.S. so that she can slowly promote her products here and have it here in the U.S. already. Okay, so I'm very proud to be able to say that because that's what we're always trying to do in the show. Now, at the beginning of the show, I mentioned to you what separate you, Yodel, is how you truly help the potential client create strategy and how to fully maximize their potential in succeeding in the U.S. market. Since this is the latter part of the show, I want you to really say something to our audience that would resonate in terms of your style, your mindset, that when they reach out to you, if they decide they need legal help here in the US, what continue to expand on what you were saying about how you would treat their client and how you go about helping them succeed here.
Well, okay, so I'm very impassioned about what I do. I love counseling people and educating people, and that translate in how I serve my clients and potential clients. So I I do start with counseling, right? So my practice mission and goals is actually helping people prepare them not only with their business setup and maximizing their growth, but also with respect to wealth preservation by preparing them also for uncertainties in life. And it starts with empowering them through education and help by helping them have the clarity with their goals, create strategies and plans that will protect their business and also families. So I do empowerment through education, number one. Number two, I'm not transactional, I'm relational. That means I establish lifelong relationship with clients and also with businesses to help them and focus, be the legal support for them to maximize their growth and also prepare them for the end part. It's either business exit or and also with legacy, right? And then another thing that sets me apart is I don't bill per hour. I everything all of my fees are agreed upon, flat fees ahead of time, and that's something that me and my clients actually identify at the beginning of the relationship. And I'm there, right? Also for them generally to identify and fill in the holes in their legal, insurance, and financial and tax. That's really the core of my foundational system. And then with that, I provide clients with that foundation, and then the only thing that they need to focus on is growing their business. They can even with the education part, empowering them, they will be confident and brave to yeah to to do business here in the US. I know the feeling coming from the Philippines coming here. You will have a lot of uncertainties. You will have a lot of jitters, and because you don't know much. So the key there, just like with Boots and Ferdinand's missions and goals and priorities, they're focused on education, just like me, empowering the business community and providing that bridge.
Well, just really quick, just to add on to that, I know Boots will probably want to say something too, but that is what probably makes you unique to me, at least, also because you being not only because you're Filipino, but you also went to school, you understand now everything that the empathy or sympathy, not, it's more like empathy, I guess, more with the Filipino manufacturers. So you actually know both worlds, so you can truly understand that. So that's what makes you unique for a Philippine manufacturer to want to come to the US, and you can give them that perspective also. That's what I like. But anyway, Boots, I'm sure you have something to say also about that.
Yeah, I just want to ask, as a legal counsel, are you also like, transparent and say, you need to improve your product or your packaging? You may not be a marketing, but you're just saying it from your heart. You're speaking from your heart. Do you tell them that too?
True. As much as possible, I let them lead with respect to their businesses. But when it comes to, but I people come to me, my clients come to me all the time to ask me, like sending me their packaging. They're sending me like that, and see my yeah. If they ask me, then I would give them my my 2 cents on, or my opinion and everything. And they need they whatever support that they need. But my I would only always emphasize on, always emphasize on their, because what would be the key? I mean, that's creating that. I think more of like opening their mind. That's what I'm very good at. Like getting into their, and digging more into their, and their, what would be their priorities, what would be their concerns, what would be their objective. Sometimes they don't know that.
Yeah,
They,
Hmm.
you're right.
they don't know that. So that's kind of like the one of the great things that my clients love about me when I counsel, when I'm their, business advisor. Yeah.
Well, like I said, as long
Awesome.
as that's the best part, when transparency, because sometimes it's already nerve wracking to run a business, and the way you just put that, it doesn't make me feel like, sometimes I, because of the fact that with me, maybe I get intimidated easy when it comes to the legal profession, right? But I always think, man, I better listen to what she's saying, because if I don't, I might get in trouble, kind of thing. But talking to you, it doesn't make me feel like that. More than anything, when I talk to you, it makes me feel like you're part of my team. Like, okay, she's there, but I don't feel like, okay, whatever she says, you don't come off like trying to see that, you, okay, well, I know all these laws, you're gonna get in trouble, blah blah blah. Like I said, it's a fine line. That's one thing that I'm trying to come across with my perspective of it, is that to the typical or the average entrepreneur, your services and the way you are is not like that. That's what I like.
Yes, it's more of like the partner. I am in partnership with my clients because their goals become my goals, their priorities become my priorities, and my job is to help them get there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Boots, do you have anything to add on to that?
I'm spellbound. I'm lost for words already with what this
That's
friendly lawyer has said. Because really, when you talk to me about lawyers, I have options A, the meter is running, or B, is
Yeah.
she that friendly that I can call her a friend?
yeah.
Call a friend rather than call a legal, right?
Mm-hmm. No, the this is the part where we have to say goodbye, I guess, in terms of our time. But at the same time, again, I want to reemphasize who we are talking to this afternoon here in the Los Angeles area in the U.S. and morning in the Philippines. We are interviewing attorney Yodel Deloso Penacho. She is one of the panel experts in the legal side of from local, the Planet 63 from local to global show. So again, we do these events or interviews because we never get a chance to find out who these panel experts are. So this is our way of trying to tell you that these experts are amazing. They're good at what they do. And you know what? I just, while we were doing the show, I said to myself, we have to open up, maybe now from here on out, open up a line where we do actually invite people to ask questions, right, Boots and Yadel? I don't know why I didn't think about that, because sometimes maybe they do have it and I'm not allowing them, only because this is just a quick
Mhm.
interview. But anyway, let's end the show by giving us some words of wisdom, something that we could end the show with. So I will, since I don't have any wisdom, I'm going to leave it up to you, Boots.
Well, you probably lost your wisdom tooth anyway.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Other than that, I'll
yeah,
leave
but
this one up to you. I just press the buttons to the controls of the show, so you go ahead and go ahead and do the honors of giving us some wisdom.
yeah, but the wisdom there is that never be afraid to ask a lawyer for counseling. Don't do it yourself. because you don't know what you're entering into. Some people love to enter, but they can't get out. They get stuck. And that's the time when they ask for any lawyer. And really, I tell you, it's not that advisable. So call a lawyer, a friendly lawyer, a lawyer who understands you, not somebody who sends you the bill immediately or tells you this is my rate. You know, it's so sometimes they're not friendly. I mean, they tell you, call me, blah, 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 I'll help you. And you call them, you have a very cold person talking to you. But Yodel has that kind of warmth, that kind of Filipina touch, which I'm sure she's really oozing out. All right. So that makes her different.
Well, before I close the show, Yodel, go ahead and I'll end it with your any words of wisdom again to just end the show. You have any parting comments, so to speak?
Well, I think it's just like a quote by Mr. Yogi Berra. It's about he said that without a plan, even the most brilliant business can get lost. You need to have goals, create milestone, and have a strategy in place set for yourself for success. And big part of that is your legal foundation.
Fantastic. With that being said, again, thank you so much, everyone, for watching Planet 63's From Local to Global, the Experts Edition. And we would like for you, please, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and be notified when our next Planet 63 From Local to Global show is live again. Remember, the next show will be on May 10th, which is in the US around 6 o'clock. And in the Philippines, that would be about 9 o'clock. And by the way, if you are a Philippine or U.S. manufacturer or a service provider and want to go from local to global, please reach out to us at info@planet63.com or visit us at www.planet63.com, because we would love to have you on the show, whether you're a U.S. manufacturer or a Philippine manufacturer. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate your time and investing maybe 30-45 minutes of your time. Now have a great rest of the week, and please, let's go global.